There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights. Queerest I ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake LaBarge. I cremated Sam McGee. Sam McGee is from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. Why he left his home in the south to roam round the pole, God only knows. Well, he was always cold, but the quest for gold seemed to hold him like a spell. Though he'd often say in a homely way that he'd sooner live in hell. It was Christmas Day. We were mushing our way over the Dawson Trail. Talk your cold. Through the parka's fold it stung like a driven nail. If her eyes we'd close, the lashes froze. Sometimes we couldn't see. Well, it wasn't much fun, but I wanted to whimper with Sam McGee. And late that night, as we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, the dogs were fed, the stars ahead were dancing heel and toe. Well, he turned to me. "Cap," says he, "I'll cash in this trip, I guess. And if I do, I'm asking that you won't refuse my last request." Well, he seemed so low I couldn't say no. Then he says it with a sort of a moan. "Oh, it's accursed cold. It's got a right hold till I'm chilled clean through to my bones. 'Tain't being dead. It's my awful dread of the icy grave that pains. So I want you to swear that foul or fair, you'll cremate my last remains." Well, pal's last need is a thing to heed, and I swore I would not fail. We started on at the streak of dawn, but God, he looked ghastly pale. He crouched on the sleigh, and he raved all day of his home in Tennessee. And before nightfall, a corpse was all that was left of Sam McGee. Well, there wasn't a breath in that land of death. I hurried hard driven. With a corpse half hid, I couldn't get rid, because of a promise given. Well, it was lashed to the sleigh, and it seemed to say, "Now you may tax your brawn and brains, but you promised true. It's up to you to cremate these last remains." A promise made is a debt unpaid, and the trail has its own stern code. But in the days to come, though my lips were dumb, in my heart how I cursed that load. In the long, long night, by the lone firelight, while the huskies, round in a ring, howled out their woes to the homeless snows. God, how I loathed that thing. Well, every day that quiet clay seemed to heavy and heavier grow. On I went, the dogs were spent, and the grub was getting low. The trail was bad, I felt half mad. But I swore I would not give in, and I'd often sing to the hateful thing, and it hearkened with a grin. Till I came to the marge of Lake LaBarge, and a derelict there lay. It was jammed in the ice, but I saw in a trice it was called the Alice May. And I looked at it, and I thought a bit, and well, then I looked at my frozen chum. "Here," said I with a sudden cry, "is my crematorium." Some planks I tore from the cabin floor. I lit the boiler fire. Some coal I found was laying around, and I heaped the fuel higher. The flames just soared, and the furnace roared. Such a blaze you seldom see, and I burred a hole in the glowing coals, and I stuffed in Sam McGee. Well, then I made a hike. I didn't like to hear him sizzle so. The heavens scowled, the huskies howled, the winds began to blow. It was icy cold, but the hot sweat rolled down my cheeks, and I don't know why. And the greasy smoke in an inky cloak went streaking down the sky. I do not know how long in the snow I wrestled with grisly fear, but the stars came out and they danced about ere again I ventured near. I was sick with dread, but I bravely said I'll just take a peek inside. I guess he's cooked. It's time I looked. Then the door I opened wide. And there sat Sam, looking cool and calm, in the heart of the furnace roar. And he wore a smile you could see a mile. He said, "Please close that door. It's fine in here, but I greatly fear you'll let in the cold and storm. Since I left Plum Tree down in Tennessee, it's the first time I've been warm." There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales, make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights. Queerest I ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake Labarge. I cremated Sam McGee. Thank you.